yada, and the recording has started. Hello, welcome back to the Caragor Studios Remnant Lunar Archon session 37. We're here to have a good time. We're starting late, but that's okay. I knew we were gonna start late, TBH. I'd kind of figured it out an hour before the normal time. But here we are. So we may play a little bit shorter. We may not play a little bit shorter. Who knows? We'll see how the thing goes when the players play the game. Yeah. So that means that one of you four is going to give a recap. Let's see who it is. Jack, do you want to try to give a recap while you're driving, or is that too dangerous?
Sure.
Speak loudly.
Wait, let me my ear. Is this better?
That is much better.
Yeah.
Just don't
Better.
die.
Okay. No, I mean, I don't have to use my hands for it or anything.
Oh.
So yeah, last session we ended the fight with Mouse Pirate, who we do not know the name of, but was given an alternate, I guess, artwork by Maverick on Discord. But anyway, so the party had killed the assassin and tied up and killed most of the guards, left one for questioning. Doug and Chicket had just ventured outside, keep watch. And Garan and I forget the character's name. It starts with a what was the character's name again? That was helping, or we were
Bale, correct.
some character with a sword and gun
That's true.
had aided us. Who?
Yep. His name was Bale, B-A-I-L. He has a sword and he has a pistol.
Bell. Yes. So Grand and Bell had questioned the guard with no luck whatsoever. And that's pretty much where our after that we had went back to the tavern and we had rested, and Garan had a dream, which I'm assuming will be brought up in the very first few minutes of our new session. So there you go.
Nope, not really. I mean, I'm going to rehash what it was. Basically, he had a dream where he talked to his patron, big scary phoenix, storm phoenix, flying in the clouds. Seems to be, at least he believes, or at least got the impression, that the phoenix is actually inside of the storm that is off the coast of Echo right now, slowly approaching Sheer. So do with that what you will. It was implied that Garand will have to fight something evil at some point, and would need the nerve to do it. And so they kind of began practicing in the dream cloud. But then he woke up. Yeah, that's basically the end of that. So, that brings us to 9 a.m., Saturday the 22nd of April, year 417 post-Schism. I think Doug pretty much got everything. Y'all did send the bodies with Bale, as well as the person. Y'all don't know where he took the prisoner. Y'all don't know where he took the bodies, but he said he knew some people. So, he took them away in a cart. Yep. That brings us to here. What would you all like to do?
Wake up.
You do so. Is there anything anyone wanted to accomplish over the course of the long rest that y'all just finished? I guess not. The floor is yours. Oh.
I think I have to level up to change. Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say I have to level up to change my spells.
Typically, yes. What spell are you looking?
Maybe it's for the warlock, but for the bard, maybe it's a long rest.
No, they're both spells.
No. That's right, because he's also It's Yep.
I've considered. I've played around with the idea of being able to change one spell per night, but I haven't landed on that. What spell are you thinking of changing? Out of curiosity.
The I think it was either. Oh no, that's right. No, we had already fixed it all because I went through the thing. Never mind. I was remembering from like weeks ago when I had made that error about what my spells were and where I got them and stuff, and I was gonna trade one out, but then I realized that like I had inadvertently given myself the 2 spells that were just on my list, not automatic, and so I went from being +1 spell that I was gonna get rid of and trade out anyway to where I should be, but overall it's effectively -1 spell, but it's just that one spell that I wasn't using.
Because you don't get the spells automatically for the Warlock, it's just you get access to those spells. But yes. What would you like to do? A new morning has dawned. There are clouds beginning as you look outside. The weather, it's a bit windy. It hasn't started raining yet, but there is wind and clouds in the sky, indicative of rain soon. You can still see a bit of the sun, but you can tell it's getting a bit high. It's still warm, it's still very hot, but also a bit overcast.
When we are all together, breakfast or whatever, Garon will tell everyone about the dream, what he suspects to be more likely to be the Storm Phoenix itself, but as I've been mulling over the dream, I also wonder if it's maybe an emissary of the twisted bad guy version. So I'm where I was like 95% sure, now I'm like 80% sure that it's my patron. But on the plus side, he would be like, I think that it might be a great opportunity to see about having a meeting with Selzander, in fact. And perhaps, while the storm is confusing everything else, maybe we can make some changes.
What changes, Doug asks?
Sorry, that was meant to be a tongue-in-cheek sort of attempt to change the way that things are run around here. You know,
Are y'all talking
remove
in
one,
your
replace
room?
another.
Are y'all talking in your room or downstairs in the lobby of the Chimera's Thorn?
I guess it depends on if after the first thing that I said, if we were already downstairs and he asked that, then just it would be like, oh, getting rid of any remaining criminal element would be kind of what Gron would say.
I mean, y'all
something
could be
along that line.
talking in your room. You don't have to be talking downstairs. Just wanted to clarify where you were. Whether you speak openly is up to you, you know? What openly means is up to you. So, like, Blood pipes up. Do you mean, like, kill him? Or, like, have an election? What are you talking here?
With that, I'll assume that we were up in the room.
Yes.
Well, I can't imagine that he wants to part with that weapon that we need. So, considering the fact that he's also clearly responsible for something nefarious, I think it seems prudent and right.
Cool then. Nice. Who are you gonna replace him with?
I don't see why Dear friend wouldn't be sufficient. He seems to be willing to play the political game, as well as the obvious fact that he wants good in the city. So
I appreciate that. I mean,
We're talking about
I'm pretty great, aren't I? But I don't know if I could lead a whole city. I mean, I'm wonderful, but
no, we'd miss
I-
you too much. I didn't mean you.
oh, hold on.
I think it should be an election between Oscar and this Bale guy.
Always love a good election. And I guess any other
It's an interesting
volunteers you
idea.
find on your way through. What if they want to elect one of you?
I decline.
You resign?
I decline. I think that my background check would bounce back, to be honest.
Why? Oh, right. Criminal. Forgot about that. What, not criminal?
Yeah.
Fake criminal adjacent? Yeah, we've got that.
Yeah. Criminal adjacent.
Nice.
I'm like a criminal, but I'm only a criminal to bad people.
I mean, you did break out of jail, didn't you? Technically,
Yeah.
you committed a crime. At least one.
Oh. Well, I did break out of jail, but I didn't commit murder. So, like,
Well, that's
I've
good.
committed. Well, I guess breaking out of jail is a felony.
That's a good point. Well, have you committed any other crimes?
I mean, I'll pick a pocket here and there.
A thief. Well, then you're definitely
but, like,
disqualified from being the leader.
I'll do a misdemeanor here and there, but I draw the line at felonies, other than jailbreak, of course.
Didn't y'all kill some guards last night?
They were assassins. That was self-defense.
Ah, self-defense plea. Your Honor,
Yeah.
we have self-defense on the table. As he looks over to Pickett. What do you say, Your Honor?
What?
We have self-defense plea on the table. Were you still asleep?
Pickett.
Oh, he was still asleep. Never mind then. Perhaps we should explain to Pickett that we're going to commit a major crime and have a coup in the city and then elect a new leader.
I just prepared pass without a trace.
That's good. That'll help you sneak around. I'm getting progressively more Australian with this voice. I thought that's a bit more just a generic English adjacent. Aye. Well, what's the plan then? How are you going to commit this coup?
We need to find a way to reach his inner court or his throne room or whatever he has set up for himself.
See.
And
Start with some espionage. Very nice. And
once
then,
we have the access to him,
Then what?
I just believe once we have access to him, it should be fine.
Well, good old stabbing then.
You know, that's effectively, yeah. I mean,
So the question
now,
is,
you
does
don't really
he
want to.
Yeah? Don't really want to.
You don't really want to take the king, quote unquote, out in the dark. You know, you want it to be known.
Public
So
execution.
that's part of what would be of most use.
So does he have any like
It's
personal?
more like
Yeah.
I was just going to say it's more along the lines, not necessarily a public execution, but that we need some bit of evidence. So
I
we're
imagine
going
that
to
a
need
dead body might be all you
something
need.
to.
Maury has a question.
No,
Hey,
no,
Moy.
no, not just that. No,
Who is
no. I
who
meant
is the character you're playing right
Claude,
now? I don't
haven't you,
recognize.
have you forgotten me, Thicket? I know I'm getting
That
progressively
doesn't
more
sound like
Australian.
Claude.
Let me check. Okay, so Claude. I'm a bit more of a like this.
I was
No, that's too Australian. Perhaps a bit more. I know. Something more like this. Is this right?
I don't remember anymore.
Oh, dang. Well, this is where I am now. Okay. Anywho,
I just wanted clarification. Thank you.
I'm Claude. Progressively getting a little bit more like the rock guy from Thor, but I'm definitely not him. Let's see if I can resettle back into the basing the voice off of Wesley from. I'm sorry, not Wesley. Wheatley from Portal. Let's see.
Oh no, clear.
This. Okay, good.
The
Anyway,
condensation.
yes. So, you got. You're gonna kill him, and have proof. Say more words.
Right. No, no. I meant proof that of what he's been doing, what he's been conspiring towards,
Oh.
what he's been pushing and promoting. So effectively, that he was willing to sacrifice citizens of the town in order to claim what he believed was his rightful title or position or what have you. Effectively
That-
letting people know that we just freed them from a megalomaniac.
Oh, nice.
That's the proof that I meant. And then we have successfully taken care of it without anyone else needing to be harmed. So not only did we remove a problem, but we did it in such a way that didn't cause really a problem for anyone else.
That'll work. Sounds reasonable. Does he have any like personal guard you're gonna have to get past?
Well, he was willing to throw an assassin our way, so I imagine that he's got more likely another person in the pocket or two to, you know, maybe be by his side or handle other factions of interest for him.
I mean, I would.
So, depending
If
on
I
who we
were.
get and why and what their purposes are, we might be able to make it. I mean, what I would love is to be able to, you know, turn one from this path. Maybe there's one that's like, maybe they've lost a taste for what's going on. Maybe they've changed their mind recently and they're not as passionate about the arrangement as they once were. That would be of most use.
No? Got some allies on the
I
inside.
have seen this group turn so many. I've just seen this group turn so many from one path to another, and it's growing on me as the preferred way to resolve situations.
Yeah? Makes sense. So how do you plan on getting to him?
Is our plan to get rid of him?
Well, we need his key, do we not?
True, but my follow-up question would be, if we get rid of him, how do we know that someone worse won't take his place?
Well, I think Gambit had a brilliant suggestion of letting the people decide between either Bale or Oscar. They both have seemed otherwise honorable and interested in the good of the city. So, I mean, ultimately, you never know what all of your choices can be. You make the best that you can, and if it turns out that something went wrong, then you try to fix it. And so, if for whatever reason we're wrong about both of them, and they both turn out to be horrible, and it doesn't matter which one we got, and they're both awful, then we fix that too. But I believe as long as we continue to work together, we will always find a way through these rather...
That's true. I guess if things do go not according to plan afterwards, I mean, we already got rid of the first guy. We could do it again. Well, I mean, at that point we would have. We haven't yet. I feel like I'm being confusing.
No, it made sense. You have to kill the guy, and then if you need to, you kill the second guy, place him with the third guy, you kill the third guy if you need to, and just keep doing that until something sticks.
complicated
Until we
issues.
properly rig an election.
Hey, rig an election. I mean, at that point, we won't even let the people vote, just kind of decide. Or let people vote the first few times, and then
Sure.
just stop after that, if they clearly can't make a good decision.
I don't know. I think that, I mean, anything is possible, but I feel confident that both Bale and Oscar do have the city's interests at heart. You know, you don't really put yourself at risk trying to organize a group to remove someone dangerous if you don't care more about the city than your own life. And you don't continue to serve someone who maybe is not the most perfect leader in order to still be able to do good. So I think we need to consider well how we might want to find this information. I think our best bet is to try to locate his most loyal followers and see what we can do to either remove them from the equation or flip them.
And who would those be?
I don't know. That's where we need to find them.
I think that we should talk to Vale again and ask him. Because I think he might know. He seemed to have some information that he could give us.
Then we can try to meet with him this afternoon. Did we learn enough about him to know where we could meet him again?
He did give you his address.
Alright, well, if Thicket's willing, I think Thicket going and not leaving a trail would be most advantageous.
Do you need my
I
continual...
can take people with me. It doesn't say how many people I can cast it on, just as many as there are within 30 feet of me.
Yep, you can technically pass that a trace.
Oh, I just meant if anybody does know who he is.
What?
Yeah, I simply meant that if anybody knows who he is, if anyone knows who he is, then us being associated with him is going to put an even larger target on our backs. Versus if you were to go, say, as a spider, and then go into his house, and then appear as yourself, then nobody would need to be the wiser. That's all.
Secret meeting.
I'm confused what the plan is. Am I going by myself?
I think I think what Garand is saying is that is probably the best way to do it. That way, if someone's telling us or if someone's telling Vale, that we don't cross contaminate. But if you can go stealthily, and we can give you like a list of questions to ask, and then come back with that information stealthily, then no one will be any the wiser that we have the information that Vale has.
Okay, so I just take the questions that you guys give me and go bring them to who?
To the elf gun guy, Vale.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
So is that what you're doing? Are y'all heading toward Bales? Should I come along with you? Would I be too conspicuous? Or should I stay here? What do you want me to do?
Well, where exactly is this located within regards to the city? Is there anything nearby to where he lives that we might be able to be close enough to be of assistance should Thicket need it?
You have not scouted the area. You know that he is in the night quarter, but you've not been to where his house is. You wouldn't know what's around it.
The night quarter is where our tavern is. It's kind of like the shadier area.
Y'all are in the dusk quarter over toward the docks. The dusk quarter is one of the more shady areas. Technically, the night quarter is slightly more shady in certain areas. It's a weird mix of some areas are just low income or run down, but not shady, whereas the dusk quarter tends to be more shady than just run down. But y'all don't know that much about the difference between them. But when y'all were talking about shady stuff and trying to figure out where to go, and like when Gambit was going around talking to criminal contacts and people around the town, he found more information in the dusk quarter than he did in the night quarter.
So it's at least relatively feasible that we could be nearby?
Sure. I mean, you'd have to check out the area, but possible. Last time y'all went and hid outside an area, you walked around town and then hid in an alley. So, there's always alleys to
And
go
we did
to,
get
at
to
least.
meet our first victim. Yeah, we do like finding people in alleys.
Y'all do have a history of alleys in this town, it seems. Y'all hid in an alley before you went to the Hearth and Haven. Y'all found a person in an alley. Y'all walked through an alley where you saw that someone had a women's shirt hanging out of a window. All sorts of alley-related things. So what are you doing? And are y'all bringing Claude with you? That's really the question: is are y'all bringing Claude with you? He wants to know whether or not he's going, and
Does
I want to
Claude
know whether.
want to come with us?
He's willing to leave that up to you. Whether or not you want, as he says, his extreme intellect and considerable expertise, or not.
Can he offer it upon solicitation and not so verbose and free?
Sure. Well, I can be quiet if you ask me to.
I want him twice as... I want him there twice as much as I did before.
You want me more when I'm quiet? Sure. Whatever. Alright, so you're taking him with you. Are y'all leaving anything in the inn? Or are y'all packing everything with you like the last couple days?
I mean, we're not a heavily laden group, so I don't see why we would need to leave anything behind, but does anybody...
Okay, and are y'all taking the cart, or are you continuing to leave the cart at the inn?
Let's leave the cart again.
Okie dokie. I'll begin to make your way. It probably would get close to 9 o'clock by the time you get to the area. I'm sorry, 10 o'clock as you get to the area that you know him to be in. You find yourself on the south side of the town, the city, and fairly rundown. You see fewer marks of thieves' cant in this area, Gambit, but as you go through the fairly quiet streets, it's hard to tell if it's the overcast or if it's almost like there is less sun that gets to this area than there does in the other parts of the city. But as you approach, you find an area of somewhat similar townhouses to the style in which Linnea's house was built that y'all been to, where it was kind of 2 stories in a thinner, longer townhouse style. But you see that these have 2 different entrances. One staircase that leads up the side that seems to lead directly to the top floor, and one that goes straight into the bottom floor. And you remember from what Bill told you that he is on the top floor of this particular building. Are you looking around the area for places to hide, or are you just taking the alleyway approach? What's your desire?
All Thicket knows is he's waiting for a list of questions.
Want that? I mean, we could give that to you, like, before we started out, if you wanted, and...
Yeah.
I guess I can make it easier.
Assume.
So... Alright. So... If we miss any questions, let's you know...
You could always write them down.
We can figure it out from there, but effectively it's going to be... Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm giving her, like, a little scroll or something. Giving him a little scroll, and, something along the lines of, okay, who are his, like, top 5, top 10 most loyal followers that you know of, as many as you can give us. I mean, he may not know all top 5 or top 10. He might only know, like, 2, but it'll be somewhere to start. And then, what's a good way to maybe get a hold of them so that we can, engage them in one fashion or another, because eventually, and this is not necessarily part of the question, but eventually the timetable for us to do this is going to move up rapidly, and I would say in an exponential way, because there's no way that they're not going to track where this assassin girl went. Somebody was, at least working with her, whether or not they were giving orders or commands. Someone knows that she was either after us or sent after us, or just did send her or whatever. So it'd be effectively like that. So, like, we need to be ready to start ramping this up in a expeditious way. So I don't know. Is there any other questions that Gambit or Doug can think of?
So, Maury, what
If
was the
I
question?
if any of you guys want to come with me, you can.
They can't turn into bugs.
I thought I was doing Pass Without a Trace.
Sounded like they wanted you to turn into a spider.
Oh. I can do both.
And I mean, Doug can either travel with Thicket and like venture like above or like I guess corners or whatnot.
So, what other questions do y'all have for Thicket? And is Thicket going alone?
Yeah. Like, which,
Maury, what questions do they have so far?
I don't know.
Maury might want to write this
It's
down.
I'm typing it up. I'm
I
gonna
thought
put it in
someone
the
was
chat.
writing it down.
Okay.
I'm writing them in the chat. I'm writing
Okay,
them.
thank you.
So I was about to say, it's like, once you go in there, I'm not going to let anyone tell what they said. So,
also, like, ask, like, where, like, Liang and, like, Rosanna and Haladav are.
where Liang, Rosanna, and Haladavar are located?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, how will they be an issue? Will they be someone that we need to also talk with, or like watch out for? What are their like if we try to go for Salzander, will they be there also, or are they in other places?
So what was that question? Basically, is Solzander guarded?
Yeah, where is Salzander guarded, and is it likely that he is being guarded by General Rosanna, Liang, and Oliver?
You can just call Haladavar Hal if you want. It's a long name.
By what?
Basically, is Salzander guarded, and if so, by who?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. And locations. Let's see.
Where would you
Where-
find the generals?
Okay. Is that everything?
That's all I can think of.
Okay, one sec.
Lo siento. Jack, does Doug have any questions he wants asked?
I think they pretty much covered it. We just need to know who, what, when, where, why, how.
Well, there's no when that's been asked so far. I mean, I guess best ways to get them alone would probably be a when.
But yeah,
How, you
that's
haven't really asked.
like they've kind of, I guess, asked all of the very broad questions. And so, like, I guess Thicket would know, like, the follow-up questions based off of the answers.
All right.
Is there a Dawn Guard, like, in that area?
Make a perception check, which I guess I will do for you because you are presumably still in the car.
Well, I'm currently out of the car, but not at the computer just yet.
Well, in that case, I'll still make the perception check for you. +0. Love to see it.
Yep.
That's a 10. Well, they're not trying to hide themselves. Yeah, you've seen one walk by the area as y'all. Have y'all been like walking around as you've done this, or have y'all like tried to hide in an alley, or what?
Well,
I assume that we gave her him the list of questions before we left the hotel.
Well, yeah. Oh, so y'all are still at the hotel. Effectively, this is when y'all would be making the thing.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't necessarily know. But assuming that y'all like went there, as y'all been approaching the area and walking around, you have seen there is a Dawn Guard that seems to be patrolling the area. You see him every 10, 20 minutes. You're not sure what his path is, but actually, it's not a Dawn Guard. I'm sorry, it's a regular guard.
There's a difference?
Yeah. The city effectively has, y'all wouldn't necessarily know the number, it has a certain amount of Dawn Guard, and then it has 200 regular guards split among the 4 quarters. So there's effectively 50 guards per quarter. There's actually slightly less and more in certain areas, but that's not the point. You don't know how many Dawn Guard wardens are there. There are also Dawn Guard magistrates. You have learned by now that there is 1 magistrate per quarter. You don't know if there are any other magistrates beyond those. And you don't know how many wardens work under each magistrate. But there is a difference between regular guards and wardens. Regular guards are guys with spears and slightly above average strength. Other than that, basically commoners. Dawn Guard.
Is Oscar a magistrate? I forget.
Oscar is a magistrate.
Okay, cool.
He is effectively the police captain of the I believe he is the Dusk Order captain. Yes, he is effectively a police captain of the Dusk Order.
Nice. Okay. We're ready now.
Yeah, I think we're there. I think we're good to go.
All right. So are y'all hiding in an alleyway, walking around, or what?
I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace on everyone, just because I can.
Pass Without a Trace. Let me double check, but I believe only works while you're within 30 feet of them. It's not whoever's in the area when it starts, I don't think. But let me double check. So I've been wrong about spells on this show before. I mean, even if they're not, you've still got a relatively stealthy team. Assuming they're all trying to hide, and depending on how they want to hide, because there is definitely a difference between hide in plain sight, which would be more of a charisma stealth, or dex stealth. Let's see. Yes, I believe it's only creatures that are currently within 30 feet of you, so if they wanted to hide like outside the house somewhere, that might still allow them to hide. But I believe they have to be within 30 feet of you in order to gain the bonus.
It's fine. I just wanted to have it for myself mostly, and also cast it on everyone else, just because.
There we go. So everyone else, what are y'all doing?
Doug is going to try to, I guess, sneak. I guess close-ish.
Trying to be close?
Yeah, ish.
So are y'all like trying to walk around stealth, or hide in an alleyway, or what?
Climb
onto somebody's roof?
Well,
what's the plan?
I think just around.
Garand will choose an alleyway.
Okay, I'm trying to hide in an alleyway.
In fact, that's at least Garand is. And in fact, I think I want. Yeah, I want to maybe seem like a bum. I want to use like a blanket or something and just kind of like, every once in a while I'll groan.
Since that's more perception than charisma, I would say that would be a dex-based stealth check. Doug, are you trying to hide in an alleyway as well, out of the way, or something else?
Like, can you see from the alleyway?
Yeah, you could hide in an alleyway in such a way that you could still see the house.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Doug is an alleyway. That would also be a dex check, I believe. Gambit? Where's Gambit hiding?
Can't wait to make a performance roll.
Gambit is going to hide in the shadows.
Stealthy stealth. All right, what are Cedar and Maverick doing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want us to roll that already?
Buffering?
Yeah, what do y'all want him to do? And what's Claude gonna do?
I'm going to hide Claude in my jacket.
Claude is currently the size of a small barrel.
Isn't Claude always on Maverick's back?
Nope, Claude is currently an autonomous wooden robot, basically, that he's controlling with his telekinesis.
That's not very stealthy, Claude.
No.
Maybe we should have left him at home.
What do you want him to do? Also, Doug, for your general stealth check. You got a... Why do you have armor stealth penalty? Oh, because it says you're currently wearing the armor. Are you wearing Dawn Guard armor right now?
No.
Okay, then I'll take that off of you and roll again. Let's see, where's the Dawn Guard armor? Dawn Guard Harbingen. Go. No longer wearing. Let's try stealth again. That's better. That's a 17. Okay. So, what are Cedar, Maverick, and Claude doing? Claude has a dex of +0. No proficiencies. Well, technically has Arcana and History, but that's not the point. Those aren't helpful here.
I guess I'll just tag along with us.
Okay, he's just gonna stand near y'all. You rolled an 11. Cedar and Maverick. Stealthing alongside y'all?
If I remember right, they actually aren't particularly stealthy, so maybe they could just be like walking around, like
trying to give
acting like they're like looking for, a wrong to right.
Patrolling, basically. So charisma based stealth for them. So Cedar got a 2.
Nice.
Maverick got a 9. So we'll see what happens with them in a few minutes. It may not be much on account of the players not being here, but the rest of y'all seem feeling pretty stealthy. Thicket, what are you turning into?
Spooter.
Spooter? Spooter Thicket. Spooter Thicket does whatever a Spooter Thicket does. Alright, so you've turned into a spider. You're feeling stealthy. You're passed without trace. What are you doing?
Wait. They said that he's on the top floor?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I will try and enter the building.
How?
Is there a door?
So it is a 2-story building that has a door in the first floor on the front and on the side on the second floor with a staircase leading up to the side door. There does appear to be windows on the front, and you're not sure about the back on both the first and second floor. So both of them do have blinds pulled over them. Wooden blinds.
I'll try and slip under the crack of the door on the second level.
All right. It doesn't seem to be particularly well made, so there is enough room for you to sneak in. Make a stealth check. And I need to roll a thing for Bale. Actually, I need to roll 2 things. Actually, I just need to roll 1 thing. My bad. Okay. Go ahead and roll your stealth thicket with your plus 10 bonus. So that would be 10 more than it is. So
plus
20.
10. Okay.
So you'd be at 28. Thicket is immediately gone as soon as he disappears as a spider. Y'all do not see him anymore. As you enter,
I'm in the quantum realm.
Disappears into the quantum realm. Returns 5 years later with Thanos or somebody in hand, and slaughters the entire party, even though they probably would have moved on after 5 years. He gets his revenge for them moving on. Anywho, as you enter the room, you see it's a fairly small area. It appears to be... seems to be 2 small rooms. It's effectively a studio apartment. There is a separate bathroom area that takes up 1 corner of the room and is closed off. But then there, next to the bathroom, is a small, almost kitchenette style setup on the other side of that wall. And then the rest of the room, there is a bed, a chair, or 2 chairs, and a table. And you see, as you enter in, you do see Bale standing at where the kitchen area is, looking out of a window. You see the back window of the building is open. He's looking out into the city. You do see... there's not a lot here in terms of luxury. Like, he's got a solid bed. You see there is a cabinet off to one side that you assume has clothes. Hanging near the front window on the front side of the building, near the foot of the bed, there is an empty bird cage. And that's most of the stuff you'd actually see here. Yeah, there's not much to speak of.
Is there a bird anywhere?
There is not a bird that you can see. Are you, like, looking closely at the bird cage? Are you crawling along the walls, or just from the floor?
Well,
It's from
as
the
a
floor.
spider, and I see the empty bird cage, now I'm a bit worried. There's a bird on the loose.
Fair point.
I'd like to try and scan the room and see if there's
Perception.
a bird. Perception. There it is.
Scanning the room very carefully. Do spiders have sense of smell? Now I need to look that up, because that actually could come in. Do spiders smell? They do have smell. Okay, good to know. That's important. So, as you look around, you see there is no bird in the birdcage. You actually spot near the foot of the bed, there are a couple of, you see, actually just 1, maybe 2, small droplets of what looks to be dried blood. Near the foot of the bed, seems to be just underneath, almost like it fell there and was not seen if someone tried to clean up, because there's only the 2 drops. And as you smell the fairly fresh smell of a slightly decayed, like, dead in the last day or less. Yeah, it'd be a dead chicken, dead bird smell, dead something. I'm going to say with your 19, you would be able to, and, you know, you being a cat, and also a spider, but a cat, would kind of be able to tell the smell is of a bird.
Does it seem odd there's a dead bird somewhere in the room? Or does
That's
it
for you
seem
to
like
decide.
it might have been for, like, a meal?
That's for you to decide.
Well, I
The
don't
smell
know.
is coming from a small trash bucket in the kitchenette area.
Okay.
As you see, Bale is He is moving around. He is currently tightening on his gloves. Um, and as he moves around, he seems to almost be preparing for something. You don't know whether it's idle preparation, if he's waiting on y'all, or if he's just getting ready for the day and slept in late. Who knows? But he seems to be getting himself together for the day.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna like go by the door so that I'm not like right in front of him. And just like shift out of cat form and like knock on the door from the inside.
He turns around. Oh. Hello,
Hi.
Thicket.
I was told to be stealthy.
You've definitely succeeded. I didn't even hear you come in. How did you... Did you pick my door?
I was a spider.
A spider? Wait, you could turn into a spider?
Yeah.
Alright then. Are you a druid then?
I have a list of questions I was supposed to ask.
Okay. Should we sit down? Would you like for me to try to make you some tea?
Sure, I guess.
He will pull out, grab a tinderbox off the side and light the small open stove in the kitchenette area. And from a different barrel, not the trash one, but a different barrel off to the side that seems to have water in it already, he is going to begin boiling some water on the stove. As he goes over to the chair and sits down for a moment while the water continues to boil. So, what can I do for you? Did you all figure out what you wanted to do with the prisoner? I currently have him at a friend's.
I don't think we did.
Oh, okay. Well, a friend is willing to hold him pretty much as long as we need him to. He's a good man. Fire away. What are your questions?
The first one says, who are your most loyal followers and how many do you have?
My most loyal followers.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. Sorry for the confusion. That was meant to be.
Stop. This is Maury's time.
What?
Okay. All right. Sorry.
You're fine. I just think it's funny.
I just want to make sure that I didn't write it wrong.
Nope, you just wrote most loyal followers.
I'm sorry. I may have written it wrong, but
it's up to Maury's interpretation. My most loyal followers. There aren't too many of us. We're talking following, fighting force. There's myself. I've got a couple of smiths that are strong and capable. There are a few guards I know, and actually a few Dawn Wardens that I believe would take our side should we try to do anything. There's also, though I don't love to do it, there are mercenaries, particularly towards the docks. Travelers, pirates, things like that might be able to help if we needed manpower. As for loyalty, there are a couple. Probably 4 or 5 that I could count on an absolute crisis. There are many that, though they share the ideals, are still regular people. I don't want to get them in harm's way if not necessary.
All right. Then gets reading the rest of the questions and realizes this doesn't make sense. And so he's gonna start over.
Oh. This is how D&D is. I love D&D.
He reads the next question and is like, but wait, and thinks to himself, like reads it to himself and then thinks, wait, why would we fight them? So now he's gonna ask, wait, I think these were actually supposed to be about Soul Xander.
Oh. That makes more sense. I mean, I still think it might be helpful.
Xander's most loyal followers are.
The most loyal would definitely be the generals. Ladavar, presumably Rosanna. I've heard rumors around town that she's been less that during fancy events and the like, she's been less connected towards Sylvander, but that also might just be rumors or a bad romance. I don't know. Liang seems to be, from what I hear, almost like Sylvander's personal advisor, so I assume they're pretty close. Outside of them, I would probably say Aladovar's personal magistrate and wardens, as well as the 20 wardens and 2 magistrates that help in managing the citadel and protection of Sylvander. They seem to be almost handpicked by him as his personal guard. Even outside of what Heladovar does, because Heladovar is kind of like the bodyguard. He runs the citadel and public appearances. But at the same time, it seems very much that Sylvander has a backup. He has some additional soldiers that report directly to him, if need be.
All right. Next question. What are the best ways to get them alone, or are we able to engage without alerting the others?
You mean Sylvander? I'm not sure how to get him alone. He's often holed up in the citadel, though he does take public appearances, and people can... I believe there is a queue to speak to him directly in the throne room. But it's not... I mean, it's not on your own. You typically have advisors, magistrates there that oversee everything. Potentially at a party or something, you could have him alone. I'm not sure what goes on exactly inside the citadel. I don't have a lot of connections that I have inside the building. I'm not sure how you would get him alone. As for without alerting the others, I mean, Rosanna, if you caused an issue in the city, something major, it would probably take her attention. Ladavar's mostly concerned with the citadel, though, so if you could maybe fake an attack or something on the one side, get him distracted, but I'm not totally sure.
Okay.
Liang, I have no idea. I believe he's currently out of the city, though. He's the ambassador, so he actually teleports away pretty often. There's no telling when he'll be back, though.
What about, do you know if there's a way to get, like, him away from the magistrates and wardens?
Magistrates. I'm not sure. Thought about it before, but I haven't come up with anything concrete. Sure, there must be a way, but I don't know what it is.
All right. I guess that kind of answers the next question. Is Sylvander guarded? And if so, by who?
Well, yes, he has his own personal guard that work in the Citadel. Is a solid fighting force as far as I'm aware. Aladovar is his personal magistrates and handles public appearances, as well as is kind of a guard for Sylvander. He's the closest thing to a lapdog that man has.
Who?
Aladovar. He's
I don't know how to spell that.
Call him Hal.
Yeah. It
is in campaign or session highlights, I believe. But you can also just type Hal if you want. He's probably the closest guard. I've been told that Sylvander doesn't mind being on his own, which, you know, if you're strong enough to take over the city, or, well, not take over necessarily, but fight off the previous leader and become the leader, you must be at least somewhat strong. But I've never seen him in a fight. I've never seen it come to a point where Sylvander had to fight.
Do you know of the kinds of things he might be capable of?
It's called the Sun Lord, but beyond that, I don't know. I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you more, but without seeing him in combat, there's not a lot I know. My apologies. I've only been here a few years, and since then, any major attack, grim or otherwise, has been pretty well taken down by the Dawn Guard, Rosanna, and Haladavar. I know those two. Rosanna doesn't really use magic. She's a very capable fighter. Haladavar has some level of divine magic, but is quite good with his glaive as well.
How he uses what?
Glaive.
Okay.
Glaiv. Glaive. And you're Thicket, right? Making sure I got all the names correct.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So you said Liang is away right now.
I believe so.
I would assume Hal is like by Solzander's side at the moment, right?
Most likely.
Okay. And then what about Rosanna?
She tends to run the Dawn Guard from the Citadel, which is technically the third section of the Citadel is technically the Dawn Guard garrison. That's largely her territory, so she works often from there, maintaining the guard of the city. She meets with the magistrates regularly, and most major investigations get reported up to her. Investigations, events, fires, murder, anything that happens, she likes to know about it. She would be separate from the others, in most circumstances. But I don't imagine it would take long after an alarm is sounded before you go on guard and her would react.
How, do you know how soon Liang might return?
No, I'm sorry, but I don't have access to his schedule in any way. I just know that he's left. Occasionally that's reported. I heard that from one of the wardens that I work with, that he is gone. But beyond that, I don't know when he's coming back. I'm actually not even sure where he left to.
Do you have any suggestions for strategy that might be useful should we have to fight them?
Well, if we're talking about Ladavar and Rosanna, I imagine range would probably be good, as both of them are fairly physical fighters. They're both paladin types, they're both heavy armor, so maybe going after their nimbleness, their acrobatics, try and use that as a weakness maybe. Liang is a mage. He's known to be a wizard. Occasionally he will perform major feats of magic at different festivals for the crowds. But if he's a wizard, then they tend to be rather squishy in my experience. So, hit fast, hit hard, I imagine. Especially if he's the kind of wizard that's packing some powerful spells.
All right. How do you know that Liang is gone right now? Like, if he returns, how might we be able to find out if he leaves?
Well, anytime Liang leaves, the Dawn Guard that's under him are usually made aware that there are going to be fewer Dawn Guard in the... Or I'm sorry, the Dawn Guard are usually made aware that there will be fewer Dawn Guard in the city. It also tends to result in more protection for the Citadel, just in case anyone were to try to attack during that time. So knowing where people move at different moments is tend to be how we can tell when Liang is there or not. So I imagine if he comes back, we would know within half a day, at least 10 hours. We'd be able to find out from one of my contacts if they've gotten any abnormal orders, or if they've been freed up to go work around through the city instead. As it seems, whoever commands the Dawn Guard that are under the Citadel seem to have a tighter hold on it whenever Liang's not here. I assume that would be Heladavar, that he is more concerned when Liang isn't around.
Okay. I think that's all of the questions. They also wanted me to say that we are preparing to ready a raid/coup, be on standby.
I see. So you're expecting to get this done fast then? Probably the best decision given we've taken down the assassin. I will make sure the fighting force is prepared. Should I try to gather any mercenaries? Or do I think we'll be enough? I'd also like to, if you need my help on the inside. I'm somewhat capable myself. But if you'd like me on the outside, I understand.
I don't suppose extra help would hurt.
Good. I'd like to be part of taking him down.
It gives a thumbs up and turns back into a spider.
Oh, and there he goes.
Heads back to the team.
You find the team. Over the time that would be, over the 10-15 minutes of time, no one's come up and disturbed y'all in the alleyway. It doesn't seem anyone particularly noticed. Yeah, that's all I'll say with that. No one seemed to have noticed y'all. Spider starts crawling on you, Gambit.
Ah! Goes to smash it. Oh wait, never mind.
Okay. This
Tiny
is very
spider waves to you.
but this in the chat. This is very like unorganized, but these are the little scribbles that Thicket had on the letter.
Sorry to cut you off, Chris, but I really wanted Maury to have to do that on their own. Because D&D.
No. It's my apologies. I honestly just misread this situation entirely. I thought it was like I had made a mistake and I didn't want to be responsible for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
That
Understandable.
was Christopher. There was not. Yeah, that's all.
No worries. I just thought it was very funny that Moira was being like, so, what is up with you, Bale? Because I was really ready for you then to be immediately like, is there any way where you'll be alone or engaged without alerting your other friends? And he'll be like, I'm sorry, what? Are you... Is this a betrayal to my face? Yeah. The Rosanna, Liang, Magistrates, Warden, Citadel, Wardens, Hala. Throne room, queue, plus people, maybe party, fake attack to get Roanna away. Liang is away. Personal guard, Hal, lapdog. Silzeda is strong alone too. Rosanna non-magic, Hal use glaive and some magic. Rosanna runs Citadel, maintain guard. Meet with magistrates. Ranged for Rose and Hal, Liang mage, hit fast and hard. Citadel is tighter when Liang is gone. I love the notations. Fantastic. Absolutely perfect. All the information concise and effective. With zero capitalization.
And is there also zero punctuation?
There's
No,
there's a little bit.
punctuation.
There's
That's
punctuation. There's a lot of periods.
good. Perfect.
Yeah, so Maury gets back out there. Is Maury turning back into... I'm sorry, is Thicket turning back into Thicket? Staying Spider.
Yes.
Okay, well, now that I've decided that every single time Thicket transforms, I'm going to be in my head making the Mario sound. It gets bigger or smaller. You do do. You do do. Anywho, you have Thicket back again.
Was he still on Gambit's arm when he transformed?
I don't know, was he?
No.
No.
Okay.
All right. Well, after we have a moment to look at the notes, Garan says, okay, Rosanna maintains the guard. Is that correct?
Yes. And sometimes she meets
All right.
with
So it's
the
likely then
magistrate.
that she. All right. It just sounds to me that it's likely then that she would have been the one to send the assassin. If she's like the captain of captains, I guess, is what it seems like, then that means that the report would have gone up to her desk, and then she would have realized that someone was snooping around too close to where she wanted to be. So if that's true, if I'm right, then I think Rosanna would be our first target. So now let's see. Okay, you said, Hal is the lapdog, so like just like nearby, always ready, or like a right-hand man sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, so you can imagine then that if we're probably going to have to face the two of them at the same time, and probably 4 or 6 or some crazy number of additional guards. So we'll need to be prepared. Now, did Bale say anyone like would really want to be there for that fight? Like, does he have someone who has like a personal grudge? Like, anyone that really wants to make sure that Selzander's destroyed?
He said that he wants to be there, and he also can ask some mercenaries to come help.
Mercenaries aren't always the best bet. They'll go where the money is. So I would rather someone whose loyalty lies in their heart and not in their coin purse. But if he's there, maybe we can get one more. That should be sufficient for what we need to do. So maybe he would have a good second that he could bring along. I had been trying to formulate a plan of sorts, and maybe you would have an idea of how we would go about this after talking with him. But if we could arrange 2 fights to draw portions away, or events or circumstances, what have you. But it also happens to be at a time where we were planning to meet with him. Like if we can go and find out when we can get like to meet with him, like maybe we can say we think we've uncovered the night tree or nightshade or whatever you. We believe we've uncovered the nightshade, and we like his blessing to go see if we can do this for the city. And we wanted to meet with him to express our plans, and if he had any assistance he wanted to give, that would be like the story that we would give. And then we would go in to that meeting, and at the time of that meeting, because we would know the time, hopefully, then we could cause those distractions as an option. So it just kind of depends on what kind of way we're going to go about this, but I think that Rosanna would be like the first one most likely to know about us and to have sent the assassin in the first place. Those are my 2 thoughts. Gambit or Doug, if either of you come up with anything.
Yeah, the only thing with
Based on
doing
these
it
notes
in,
of what you
like,
were thinking.
2 parts is that if we go for like Rosanna first, then we'll tip him. Selzander will be tipped off that we're on to him, or that someone's coming.
Let's say we're able to create a conflagration, a great fire or something, maybe even in an abandoned building, what have you. And then, she sends someone to investigate, and then those people go missing, then she finally comes to investigate, and then she, she goes missing as well. Then maybe they would like tighten up security, whatever, what have you. But that's when we could cause the distraction. Schedule the meet. So my thought process: schedule the meet, try to draw Rosanna out, and that the time of that meeting, after we've taken care of Rosanna, then those two things would happen at the same time as our meeting. So when we're in the meeting, we're already there. These other things are going on. They have their little plans in place to go take care of whatever issues those are. And that's when we would strike. And so they wouldn't be able to call for their reinforcements as quickly. And then by the time we finish that, then perhaps we might be able to manage to finish off the other parts. Effectively, instead of attacking it like a fortress, we attack it like it's a chair. You're taking out the legs of the chair and then no one can sit on it.
I see.
Doug just nods at Gambit, or I mean at Goran.
Sure.
Thank you. So, try and understand. Y'all are basically wanting to cause a thing to occur so that Rosanna comes out, take Rosanna down, cause a thing to occur to draw Dawnguard away, and then go after Selxander.
Yeah.
Right. So what are y'all choosing to do first? Actually, that's a good spot as y'all plan and think. We're going to go ahead and take our 10-minute break there. And we will come back and continue this scheming in just a minute. 9:20. And I don't know about y'all, but I need to refill my water. Thankfully, I have extra water right here. See, this is where the fun planning side comes in. And then we'll see how much the plan changes by the time the end of the plan comes along. Because plans always go off without a hitch in D&D. I'm also going to remove Bale from the combat tracker for now. Badoosh. Claude's happy to be involved. Ooh, good song. What song is this? Garibaldi Temple. Castlevania. Which one is this? This is Curse of Darkness. That is on my list to play. Da-da-da-da-da. You know what I could use? A 0 bar. What? Are you doing parkour over there?
Me?
Yeah, it sounded like you're like, no, I was like,
I was just coughing.
Ah.
So like the opposite of parkour, actively dying.
Wow. That's rough, buddy. What's your
Mhm.
candy bar of choice?
Either a Hershey's chocolate bar or a Twix.
Respectable, but also the most basic answer possible.
Mm-hmm. If it ain't
Almond
broke,
Joy.
don't fix it.
That's like the people whose favorite character in Dragon Ball is Goku. It's like, yeah, real original.
Mm-hmm.
What was
Guess who
that
my
one?
favorite character in Jujutsu Kaisen is?
Itadori?
Uh-huh.
Yep. Real basic.
Yep.
What was that
Although-
more? Oh?
Why would they not have protagonists be likable or, someone's favorite character? Isn't
I
that
mean,
what
I
people
didn't
attract?
say that they shouldn't be. Just that it's a very basic, very normal thing. It's okay to like the protagonist and then be your favorite. It's just very basic. Also, what was that, Maury? Were you talking about were you going to answer the chocolate bar question?
Almond Joy.
Almond Joy.
That's good.
Interesting.
That's a good answer.
Interesting. What about you, Jack?
Did anyone say Payday?
No one has said Payday yet. I forget, what's in a Payday?
Peanuts.
That it?
I mean, it's like peanuts and caramel, I think.
Ooh.
But it's just a bunch of peanuts connected by some sort of caramel.
So, Payday or jar of peanuts?
Jar of peanuts. Because,
Okay.
well, it depends. If it's the unsalted or like a flavored version of peanuts, would prefer unsalted.
Really?
But
I'm a salted roasted peanuts, typically.
I like the honey roasted peanuts.
Oh.
I like salted, but I can't eat as much as I would like. So I could go through a whole thing of unsalted before I could salted.
Gotta avoid that that soda poisoning.
It's mostly just because I love peanuts, and if it's salted, I can't eat as much as I would like.
Before you get like ultra thirsty, I can respect that.
That, or like my tongue goes raw.
Though typically,
Yeah.
with nuts, I tend towards sunflower seeds, actually. But like the ones that are already shelled, because shelling them in your mouth is annoying. Though peanuts and cashews are also really good. Pecans are not, though.
Cashews are so good. My favorite though, like my favorite is like a chocolate covered cashew or a chocolate covered almond.
Ooh. go with the chocolate-covered cashew. I could respect that. Especially if it's vanilla chocolate, like white chocolate. You know, pretend chocolate.
Just don't say that to, what's his name? Brennan Lee Mulligan, Maury.
What is Maury not allowed to say to Brennan Lee Mulligan? Let's see.
That she has beef with almonds.
Alright, Brennan. Come at us. Give us that interaction so we'll get more popular. I mean, that's fine. I'd fight Brennan Lee Mulligan in a parking lot about almonds. That sounds like a fun time. Because I'm also on the side of I don't like almonds.
Okay. My favorite way to eat almonds, actually, like one time I was just having the worst time with my appetite. I'll lose it occasionally and just can't eat anything. And I was like that at work, but I was at work, so I literally have to eat something or I'm gonna die, and I can't do that. I have to make money. And so I bought a bag of sliced almonds, and I got a spoon and I opened the bag and was literally just shoving sliced almonds into my mouth. And I looked up, and one of our regular customers was parked in a car, and just we made eye contact, and I was like, uh-oh.
That's fine. Gives you more personality. It makes them want to be a more regular customer because they know you.
Right. They know that I like to shovel sliced almonds into my mouth when I can't eat anything. But if you eat sliced almonds, that takes off the, you don't have to crush them up yourself. They're already crushed up. So then you just have to digest them, basically.
Fair. Acceptable almond decisions. Alright, it's 9:31. Chris, are you here? Alright. Back to hanging out. I like Zero Bars. Got peanuts and nougat and caramel with white chocolate on the outside. It's so many things that I like all together. But also, Skittles, though.
Gross. No.
What? Nah, sweet and sour is great.
I can't do artificial fruit flavoring.
I can't.
With the exception of strawberry yogurt.
That's fair. Strawberry yogurt's pretty good. I can't knock on strawberry yogurt. I can, however, knock on raspberry yogurt because I love raspberries, and no raspberry yogurt that I've ever had has ever tasted like raspberries. It bothers me.
That's like banana flavoring stuff.
Yeah, banana flavoring doesn't taste like banana, but it sure does taste like the color yellow.
It doesn't taste like banana because the type of banana that was used to make banana flavoring is now extinct because of a disease.
Dang.
So you're actually tasting extinct bananas when you are tasting
extinct banana replacement flavoring?
Yeah.
Why not just replace it with the bananas we still have?
Yeah, I don't know. Would you want to lose that? Do you want to lose that flavor?
I'm good with losing the current flavor of banana Laffy Taffies. I will let it go. I'm good. I don't need those in my life. I'm sure there are many people who would disagree with me, but I'm on the side of no more of that. Similar, though, is like Grape-A-Co, because it doesn't taste like grape, but it sure as heck tastes like purple.
It tastes like kombucha.
I would have to hard disagree with that. I don't
Well-
see the... But sure.
We would mix our kombucha with grape juice, and it tastes like Grape & Co.
Chris has input his information. He is a Reese's Nutrageous or Reese's Outrageous, apparently.
Reese's is good.
What
is
are the
a
difference, Chris?
respectable-
Banana flavor tastes like ancient banana.
Nutrageous.
Yeah. What's the truth?
Nutrageous is basically a log of the Reese's peanut butter with peanuts on top, covered over in caramel, and then the whole thing is covered over in chocolate. So similar to the Payday in some ways.
Yeah.
And then the Outrageous is the Reese's peanut butter stuff that they use actually has Reese's Pieces mixed in.
Ooh.
And then that's covered in caramel, and then that's covered over in chocolate.
Reese's Pieces are my favorite kind of Reese's, so that actually sounds pretty great. Nice.
So I highly recommend both of those. Also, fun fact, either one of them is good when paired with a banana. So if you like
Oh yeah.
if you like bananas,
If you like ancient banana
peanut butter
flavor,
chocolate banana is probably one of the greatest
Actually-
flavor combination.
peanut butter chocolate banana.
Mhm.
You know,
Makes a good
actually-
sandwich.
Now that I think about that, that's actually what we used to do for our peanut butter shakes. When we were kids, we would get the overripe bananas that we didn't eat, and then we would throw some chocolate ice cream, some milk, and some peanut butter into a blender, and it made really good peanut butter milkshakes. It was a good time. And if we didn't have chocolate ice cream, we'd use vanilla ice cream and chocolate syrup. That was fun. But it's better with chocolate ice cream. Anywho, enough making me want dessert. It's time to play the Dungeons and the Dragons. And have a coup. Literally commit treason. But also not really, because none of y'all are citizens of Sheer.
We're gonna
And-
help other people commit treason.
That's true. It's also entirely... Like, it's not expected, but it's also not, like, a normal thing, necessarily. But, like, y'all already know, like, y'all have learned that in this country, with the exception of the Queen herself, she's fine if people want to overthrow a city leader and become the city leader, as long as they pay fealty to her. And follow specific rules that are laws for the entire country. Like, as long as you do that, sure. So, whoever y'all end up setting in power, as long as they give her fealty and serve her as the queen of the country, fine. No worries.
Hypothetically, what if we just don't elect anyone in particular?
Well,
And
then you've got a power vacuum. So, everyone knows that always goes well. You'd probably have a series of duels over the course of a couple months. Though even if you'll elect
We
someone,
kick off
you-
a massive game of King of the Hill.
basically, like, honestly, even if you'll elect someone, there's still a 50-50 chance that people will start challenging them to duels and try to take their place.
What if we nominate Claude and he gets most?
Yeah, if Claude can just be voted and no one actually challenge his rulership, then sure. That's definitely gonna go well.
Doug's gonna intimidate people from voting.
Doug will stay in the city and live there forever as Claude's internal protector. As Claude rules over the city with an iron, or in this case, wooden fist, I guess.
It
You
could be
could upgrade to iron.
That's true.
You know,
Would upgrade to an iron fist. Anywho, I got distracted again. Y'all have... I'm gonna change this to some more heisty music. This is great. I love this song, but it's too chill. There we go. This is
I
a
made
little
waffles.
nice. So as Mora eats the waffles, as Thicket suddenly produces waffles from nowhere
And shares them with
begins to-
Cedar.
and shares waffles with Cedar, who also shares her milk with Thicket, what does the party want to do? What do you as characters want to do? What does the party that's made up of you as characters want to do?
Well, I'm gonna have Gron try to see if anyone has any ideas of like what sort of events we should try to make happen. His best thought was like setting a building on fire.
We could do somebody's birthday again.
Maverick could make a bomb.
Oh,
I just need
that
gunpowder.
Maverick would love that.
Do we know where to get gunpowder? Or lots of dust, because I know that stuff can explode.
Does it have to be a certain kind of dust?
Technically no, but I think fire dust supposedly works best.
Will sand work?
No, I mean like the magic dust.
Well, you said any dust.
That's if, you're right. I don't think I can make sand combustible.
Why not?
How much do you know about chemistry?
I live
Maverick?
in the woods.
That's a cat you're talking to?
Hey, he asked the question. I'm just
I
making sure I
know.
know what the expectation is here.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes, gunpowder explodes. That would work.
How come sand doesn't explode?
So there's a thing called thermodynamics.
What's that?
Maverick will begin to try to explain how thermodynamics and combustion chemistry works. Which Micah doesn't want to actually go into the details of explaining how rapid oxidization can produce a incredibly fast fire and effectively an explosion that can produce, depending on the chemical or compound used, can produce such a force up to the atomic freaking bomb. Gunpowder is
said
the most...
he didn't want to explain it.
And then I did.
explained it.
It's actually even more complicated than that. Chris says glass, and then glass explode. Shrapnel's a thing. If you made a bomb with gunpowder and filled it with glass, well, glass would probably shatter even smaller, so maybe not glass, but filled it with like metal forks, highly effective. Highly effective. I'm not going to explain how to make a pressure bomb, but I know how to make a pressure bomb. Because I'm not going to make that be on our recording on the internet.
Has flashbacks to debate when we literally would research that.
That's not the point. You and I both know. It's actually incredibly easy. Anywho. Yeah, I can make a bomb. I just need the gunpowder for it.
I still don't get though. Why does gunpowder explode but sand doesn't?
Well, gunpowder has sciencey magic, so when you light it, it burns really fast, really hot, and if you do it to a lot of it, it'll go kaboom. And if you do it to sand, nothing happens, but sometimes if you heat sand really hot, it'll turn into glass, but it doesn't explode. It's like science, but magic. But also science magic. There's also a thing called napalm I've been working on, but, that's on the shelf right now.
Doug just kind of looks and goes, can't we just light a fire a normal way in like an abandoned house or a place where we know the owner is already deceased?
Do you know a place where the owner is already deceased?
We could use Linnea's house.
I was about to say, you actually know exactly where one is.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind losing their house after they've already lost someone, so why not?
I love D&D.
Would a house fire be enough to draw out Rosanna, though?
We could also safeguard their belongings or possessions and just create a visible fire in the parts that aren't necessary or can be repaired easily. Or do we know anything about this castle?
The Citadel?
Yeah.
You know, it's a 3-layer sandstone building, bits of wood. You know that the exterior portion is kind of separated from the rest, or at least there's a main section near the front that is known as the Dawn Guard Garrison, and that's where the Dawn Guard and Rosanna typically are. The rest of it is kind of a perimeter. You don't know what the inside exactly looks like. You'd have to do some research and maybe recon on that to see what the inside of that first layer looks like. From what you can see from the second layer, it appears that the second layer and third layer are both slightly more elevated. The second layer being elevated and the third one being elevated above that. The third one is significantly smaller than the other two. Effectively, it's it kind of is an upward sloping tower almost. Only humongous in scale. So you'd have to do recon to tell exactly what is on the inside. But it is a slightly higher and higher, smaller versions cascading citadel. The exterior being the Dawn Guard garrison. From what you understand, Selxander lives on either the second or third layer, but you're not totally sure.
Wait, can't I just dress up as a Dawn Guard and just run up to the Citadel and come up with oh, there's a fire, and then lead them to Linnea's house and not actually set it on fire? And then we can just ambush from behind after I pass everyone? Or is that not a distraction enough?
Well, we might want something of smoke or something so that you have something to point to so that they sense the urgency.
I'm just thinking, would a single house be enough to get Rosanna to come out? That sounded,
That's
I
true.
think it was Maury that said that, asked that question. Or was it someone else? I'm not sure.
I did.
Yeah, I think that's a point. But I don't know the single house fire in the Dawn Quarter in the Dusk Quarter would get them to leave the Citadel and run 30, 40 minutes.
So can we light some carts on fire and then block streets?
Make a riot type of thing.
Yeah.
Or take over that market area.
Correct. Or we could be a traveling group and convince people to be extras and have them pretend to be in a riot, just to cause like enough confusion. At fire and stuff right outside of that location.
For the record, when y'all were in the market area, that market area is... It's kind of a central courtyard area in the day quarter. And it is 800,000 feet from the front part of the citadel, where the garrison is. So potentially. There's nothing after that. I'm just saying that's where it is. That's the area y'all know. If the extras idea is what you want to go with. Right, but like, what do we do if the extras, like, how are we going to convince them to keep doing a riot when there are wardens there? Guards?
Could tie up the guards and we could play as the guards.
Right, because y'all stole that armor. Stole the armor.
Yeah, we would just have to, I guess, knock out the guards that are currently posted.
You know, and then we could be an entire squadron or whatever. It'd be a right good time, I think.
I'm just revisiting that idea we had when throwing Cedar's birthday party of... No, it wasn't Cedar's birthday party. It was whenever we were thinking about how to investigate the docks and potentially creating a Headless Horseman scenario. So, like, maybe actually just causing fear and panic. And, like, we wouldn't have to worry about, I guess, convincing people, like an entire group of people, to pretend to riot. It would just be out of sheer chaos.
The people that, because he had mentioned this the other evening, last night, what have you, there are people that are willing to support this, but aren't combat ready or whatever, and they can't really participate in the same sort of way. What if they were the quote-unquote mob, and they scared out the regular people, and then those regular people went to go say, oh no, we're being attacked, and then that would give them an opportunity to get away, while they're while the others are running, and then we act like we are the ones trying to take it over or whatever. We're the ones causing the mob, so they're not actually in danger, and then we take her down when she appears.
True. I mean, because we do have all of Belle's people we can utilize.
Does that mean you also have to fight, like, all the Dawn Guard?
I don't know how many they would bring. I suppose that's always a possibility. That's... I But I can't imagine that they would bring the entire. They probably wouldn't bring the entire Dawn Guard there. Think about it, because then that would leave anything else vulnerable.
I mean, we could just take one Dawn Guard out at a time and replace them with one of us.
We could, yeah. Go back to the squad idea.
And then have them cross the scene, and then we would all patrol out to it along with Rosanna, and then like ambush her right then and there. And then they wouldn't know who we were because we would be in armor, and we would just be Dawn Guards, according to them. Or whoever's a bystander.
I like that plan also. I like it.
So I guess we would have to go back to Bell first to explain the plan before we started taking down guards one by one.
I can go back up real quick while I still have pass without a trace. I mean, I don't have wild shape still, but I can be stealthy.
Any opposed?
Nah.
Well, once we have this ball sort of rolling, I still think that it would do well for us to make our way and set up that meeting so that we can effectively plan in advance. You know, you have to kind of go in stages, and I really think that we have a time limit.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to try and fight Zolzander while Liang is here. Or if he were here. I would want to take advantage of him being gone.
How fast? How fast would it take for Liang to get here? If
And he can
someone
teleport.
Oh,
Yeah.
So literally anytime.
So we need to be fast enough to make sure we can do this before Liang gets word.
mm-hmm.
Do I go tell Vale what we've got so far?
Yeah. He might have some suggestions too.
Okay. I go back up the stairs, this time not in wild shape, but still with fast without a trace.
Make a stealth check. As a not spider. Yeah, because you have maybe 10
Can
minutes
I
left on
have given Bardic Inspiration?
If you want to. I think it has maybe 10 minutes left on.
Alright, yeah, I would...
So that's trace, by the way. It lasts an hour, and it's been about an hour.
Okay.
Bit under.
Alright.
using Bardic Inspiration Thicket.
What bardic is? What do I roll for that?
D6. So you currently have a plus 12 in addition to your whatever else you have. Yeah. So with the 32, you are quite certain you have not been seen as you stealthily streak across the road and slide up the stairway. Actually moving underneath and actually climbing on the underside of the stairway at one point before swinging back around to the top. You are at the door.
I knock on the door gently.
A few moments pass by. The door opens just slightly. You see Bale glance through the opening and then open the door to you. Let's do again this time.
Yes.
Come in quickly.
I very quickly tell him all of my plans.
What do you tell him?
Tracer runs out.
What do you tell him?
Maury does not fully remember.
So what do you tell him?
I don't think it remembers the essentials.
Sure, but what are the essentials? I'm not even totally sure which of the plans y'all are doing. So I'll allow it this time, y'all. What are the essentials?
I do mention to him that we're cool with him joining us. We're a bit skeptical about mercenaries because we don't know how trustworthy they are with it being mercenaries.
He agrees.
What were you gonna say, Jocelyn?
The distraction. So we're gonna do like a fire and try to draw out Rosanna, and then draw out Shelsander.
Fire. I don't know if that'd be enough.
I suggested a bomb.
That could work. You just need to be careful not to have any bystanders hurt. The bomb would definitely draw attention. Either away from the citadel if we want to attack her in there, or at least get her attention. If I'm going to come with you, should I go ahead and join your group right now, or do you want me to wait until later? Because I could just come out with you.
It could be easier for communication.
I think that would be best. And assuming you let him, he is also going to stealthily leave his own home, locking the door behind him. He rejoins the group.
We pass without a trace back to the group.
Donk. Identify. Good team. There we go. Stealth. He does not have proficiency in stealth, so he is making a dex check. Yeah, he's good. A few moments pass by as y'all wait before you realize, looking around, you see that Bale is actually standing in the group now with Thicket. He wanted to talk. Sorry, we decided that the double communication was not the best way of doing this. What's the plan?
We're gonna make a bomb.
Okay.
And
we can get gunpowder.
We will draw out Rosanna. And take care of her and a good amount of dawn guard. And then we're gonna target Shelsander. And we're gonna try to do this quickly before Liang gets notified and returns.
See.
And you'll need your people to cause a riot.
Wait. We're doing an explosion and a riot?
Potentially.
We want to try to get as much of the Dawn Guard as possible occupied and spread it out so that they can be well with it.
See. Where do we plan to set the keg?
Did they decide on
The market, maybe?
I thought we were going to do like Nana's house.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd have to be careful. There's potential for damage in the area, depending on the size of the bomb.
I'm wondering like maybe bombs everywhere.
I can make them explode real good if I have gunpowder. And I can make him go off. Let me check his things, because this is actually an interesting use of a ability. Let's see. Magical Tinker.
Are you able to control how big the explosion is?
By changing the amount of gunpowder, sure. It would be tough, but I could make effectively a timer. Super precise. Yeah, and if we like put it on the roof or something, maybe it would go up and not into people's houses. Huh? Right. If we have someone who can fly, we could definitely set it off with a firebolt from the sky. Alright, so we're going to explode someone's house.
Does Cedar still have the wind wall kind of thing?
Does Cedar have the air dust?
Because if she does, then we can like put the fire.
I have air dust.
Cedar has earth dust.
Yeah, we could make like a. I mean, we could utilize wind and like join that with the fire, or like control the fire with the air wall or air dust.
we also probably want to leave as much energy as we can for fighting, not for the bomb.
Yeah. So, as Micah trying to figure out exactly what the plan is, are y'all planning to simultaneously start a riot in the market and set off a bomb at Linnea's?
Yes.
Yeah.
With the intent to get who to where?
The Dawn Guard headed out.
Relatively close to each other?
No, Linnea's is 30-minute run. Be a little faster.
I think that we should have the riot happen all over the city, and not just in one spot.
How do we know which place? Yeah, go.
likely she would want to quell the riot, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we could make a risk that, but it's going to just split, like, or how about this? We have the riot start, and then we bomb, like, a timer, some kind of, like, trigger or something, so that the bomb happens after they're already on the way, and then she'll send some people to go investigate the bomb while she continues forward. That way she'll already be on her way to the market, she won't want to go back, and then she can send some of our guards, and that will lessen the number coming our way.
So if I have this right, the intent is to use some of the total of 60 members that the Shade Tree has, convince some of them to start a riot via something. How y'all have planned to start the riot, you're not sure whether or not it's going to be just have as many of them in the crowd as possible and then try and have it just infect from there with them yelling, screaming, something. In the market during a market time. And then after the riot starts, presumably getting some attention from Rosanna, you want the bomb to go off so that she will take it more seriously and potentially go to the market first and send some people to the bomb. Is that the goal?
Yeah.
I mean, or we can get like the mob to be split in those two directions, and then we all can stay in one place and deal with whoever comes in that direction, and then the mob knows that, or the mob knows where we are. So once guards or Rosanna start showing up at their location, they can just run to our location, and hopefully by the time they arrive, we'll have defeated whoever was sent to our location.
So basically you want to go bomb first. Or like, while the riot is going, bomb, fight whoever comes to mess with the bomb, and then have the riot lead Rosanna to the bomb?
Yeah.
So you can fight her immediately after?
Or vice versa. But whoever Rosanna goes to, I guess, should go to the other place.
Yeah.
Fight non-Rosanna first, and then
The only
Rosanna
problem with that
second?
is...
Yeah, because if we learned anything like last time, the Dawn Guard was just going to heal, so we might want to get rid of the healers first. If we don't run into her first, then we'll just have to deal with that when we get there. But yeah, I think if we run into Rosanna, then that's good. We can just eliminate her there, and then tend to the other guards that go elsewhere. But if Rosanna goes to the other location, then we should be able to make quick work of the regular guards, and then kind of meet the mob halfway as they're running back to us because Rosanna's with them. And then I guess we'll just kind of, or they'll lead her to us regardless.
That should be volunteer only, though, because they are more likely to get hurt if they are leading her somewhere. That means they have to be fast enough to get away, but not so fast that they lose her.
Yeah. Or they can set off the bomb and then immediately like run back to the marketplace and no harm. So the marketplace, you said that was like I know this it's like you said 8,000 feet from the Citadel.
8 or 1,000. 800 or 1,000. A few hundred feet, effectively.
Okay, so not a mile.
No, less than a quarter mile.
Okay. And then Linnea's house in location to like the Citadel and the marketplace, is it like a triangular route? Or is it like further?
From Linnea's to the marketplace. She's on the north side of the Dusk Quarter. So you would go through a couple of different streets, but it'd effectively be probably 2-3 miles. Yeah, 2 or 3 miles from the market.
But it's on the Citadel?
Huh?
It's on the other side of the Citadel?
It is further away from the Citadel than the market is. The Citadel is at the northern side of the Day Quarter, and so effectively right below the Citadel is the market, and then off to the down and to the right is where Linnea's is from the market.
Yeah, so I mean, regardless, they should be coming through the market first, and then some will continue going to the bombed location. So like some of us can like hide in the crowd until we see Rosanna, then we can attack. And like some of us can take out some of the guards going towards the like Linnea's house. And then when Rosanna sees them, then we kind of like ambush once she's in sight. Correct? Because like they would be coming from the same location, so like they would all have to pass through the marketplace.
Are you asking me?
Well, I mean, I guess
Bring up
we
the
should.
idea. I'm just so the rest of the party is aware. Like, are you bringing up the ideas to them, or
Yeah. Like the Dawn Guard, like, do they extend past the marketplace, like closer to Linnea's, like, or should we take care of any between Linnea's and the marketplace, so that way there's none going straight there that aren't going to pass through the marketplace? Like, are there any Dawn Guards between the two?
unsure? You know that each quarter has its own magistrate and an amount of Dawn Guard, but you aren't sure how many. At least not so far. As well as 50 regular guards. Like, you can make educated guesses and assume they have 5 or 10 or 2, but you're not sure, and you're not sure what the routes are that they patrol. If you would run into any from one place to the other, unclear.
Do we know if Oscar has control over, like, guards in a certain area? Like, could we clue him in on some of this stuff?
Potentially. Y'all could try. Y'all want to go to Oscars?
I'm trying to remember if, like, what Guron's feelings were with Oscar.
I mean, Ron seems to think that he's trustworthy, that he cares about people, and that seems atypical because the current situation is that Selzander basically sees people as tools, not as, you know, souls worthy of respect or time or consideration.
So do you think Oscar would be on board with helping out with the guard situation so we're not having to fight guards and Dawn guards?
I think we should all have a vote on taking that risk, because either it exposes us completely, or it's the linchpin that can completely solidify what we're trying to do. It's only going to go one of two ways. I don't see him being like, oh, I'm not sure, let me think about it.
I mean, I guess we could just ask him if he's heard of, like, Selzander and, like, kind of get his thoughts before we, like, just come out and say what our plan is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for questioning him, you know, talking with him. I believe that Thicket or Cedar or both will know exactly where his mindset's at, so I can lead the discussion, and we can see how it goes. I'm very open to that.
Yeah, I think it's best just to see where his head's at before we give any information.
As well as during that time, while some of you go speak, I can go with potentially Maverick and go procure the gunpowder. I'm saying the wrong. I was using the wrong accent. I could go procure the gunpowder. Assuming
that would be helpful.
We still plan the cause an explosion. Based on my previous purchases of gunpowder, for the amount that you're talking about, the whole keg, it'd probably be about 200 gold. Expensive stuff. Okay. It is 10:20. We've been playing for about 2.5 hours. Do we want to discuss the plan for prep next week and for y'all to think about it, and then end off for the night? Or do y'all want to play for a bit longer? In case y'all want to go ahead and go talk to Oscar or something else. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what y'all want to do.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like the plan is still effectively riot, bomb, fight the people at the bomb first, have the riot lead Rosanna to y'all. Potentially try to get Oscar to have as few Dawn Guard of his or others there as possible. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have anything else people want to mention for the night then? Do we want to end here, or do we want to try to play a little longer?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down with trying to talk to Oscar, but
You can try to talk to
Yeah.
Oscar first. Are y'all splitting up for some people to go get a 20-pound keg of gunpowder?
Doug can help with that.
Okay, Gambit will go too because he's not going to jail.
Okay. Maverick would also want to go to make sure it's the right kind and amount. So that would leave Garand, Cedar, Maury, and Claude going to.
that's it. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Because Bale knows where to buy the stuff, Maverick knows how much and what quality. Doug and Gambit both want to because they don't want to talk to Oscar. Alright.
I want to talk to Oscar. I don't want to go to jail.
That is a valid selection of points. So
Mostly just because it's going to be heavy, whatever is going to be carried.
yeah, it's 20 pounds. They could potentially carry it if you want to go to Oscar, or you can go because you want to go to the Gunpowder Squad. Do you want to go Explosion Squad or
You know, I feel
Scheme
like
Squad?
Doug would more so go for like the exciting parts. But yeah, he's kind of torn because he's wanting to learn social like interactions. But at this moment, I think the explosions have more of his interest.
Alright. So they will be going there. How are y'all paying for the gunpowder?
We're putting it on Bell's tab.
Bell does not have 200 gold.
His group doesn't have any kind of funding.
They haven't done donations. He can supply about 50 gold, but he would need help with the other 150.
Doug is going to ask Bell, out of your group of people, are any of them willing to help us or have some sort of expertise that would allow us to get this equipment and ingredients that we need?
You mean in terms of like the owner or like thievery or what? What do you mean?
Like in terms of obtaining what we need?
Do you know somebody who's rich? Do we have financial backing?
That's a good question. I'm gonna roll a persuasion check for him to see if he managed to get any bigwigs on the team. Okay, dude, you were trying to beat a... Let's go with DC 16. I'll roll. That's a 12. No, unfortunately, we have not managed to persuade any terribly rich individuals to the side. Also like to mention, for the party sheet, I'm going to remove the stuff that y'all did not shoot, that y'all did not take from the fight. That fine? Rapier, stiletto, scimitar, studded leather, thieves' tools.
Oh, I thought we took the rapier, or I thought I took the rapier.
Doesn't look like it, but I can double check.
Well, let's see. I know I wanted to take her weapons.
Okay, so you want the rapier and the stiletto?
Yes. Because, we were going to show the stiletto to Oscar, I thought.
Yeah, I thought I had actually grabbed the stiletto, and I thought Doug did have the rapier.
It does not appear that either of them were taken. It might have been a tech issue, but I'll go ahead and throw those onto Doug's sheet for now. Are y'all leaving the scimitars from the Dawn Guard?
No, we're taking those.
I mean, we might as well take them. We can sell them.
Okay, who's carrying them?
I guess Doug's taking one since he needed to wear their armor.
We have the portable hole.
So is Thicket taking the other 5?
Yeah.
Thankfully, they do have scabbards, so you're not putting a bunch of sharp, pointy metal objects inside of the hole. Granted, I don't know that the Hulk can tear. I know bags of holding can, but I don't know that the whole can. Studded leather, are y'all taking that from them as well?
Yes, because we might disguise ourselves as them,
Thieves'
right?
tools. Studded leather was specifically belonged to N.
Oh,
There are 2 sets of
not
the
pirates.
habergeons, though, that they wore. The Dawn Guard armor. Do y'all want to take...
I assumed that we just grabbed all of it and
Okay,
stuffed it
I will just
into
throw the rest
hole.
of it into Thicket's inventory then for now.
But I'll take the thieves' tools. 'Cause I don't know what else to do with them.
Okay, I don't know where this fine necklace in here came from, so I'm getting rid of it.
Oh, from Lacephine.
Well, it's gone now. It's been there that long, y'all don't have it anymore. Okay, so what is the plan for financing the explosive?
I know Gambit's broke.
Let's see.
Oh, I accidentally threw the thieves' tools into the wrong person's inventory. Let me fix that. Continue though. Gambit's broke.
Yeah, Doug does not have. I mean, Doug has like 58 gold, but that's not enough. I mean, Doug is mostly like chaotic neutral, so like he's not opposed to like, you know, sneaking and getting things if he absolutely has to. Since he is like a mercenary background.
So are we walking towards the market?
No. The gunpowder place that he's leading to is actually in the Dawn Quarter. He would explain that it is a fairly expensive, high-end guns and gunpowder shop. So if you wanted to buy a pistol, that would be where.
Ooh. We just established that Gambit is broke, but is there a rich-looking person walking?
Make an insight check to gauge richness.
Insight?
Yep. Since you're trying to gauge richiness.
Okay, I can do this. I'm gonna spend a hero point.
Do it. So I guess the question for that group, for them to think about, is whether or not they want to steal the gunpowder, or whether or not y'all are going to finance it a different method. The other group, Thicket and Garen.
No!
I don't know, man. Some people look rich, some people don't look rich. It's hard to tell. You could just pick a name out of a hat. It might be rich, that might not be.
Okay,
you see a pretty rich looking rat at one point, but
Okay. Go to Thicket and Garand, and afterwards, I'm just gonna pickpocket the next person I bump into.
Okie doke. Thicket and Garand. Your group. You approach and get to the front of the words. You find yourself back at Oscar's, effectively precinct guardhouse. As you step in, you once again do not see him around.
I'll call out to whoever's at the desk or whatever. Yes, hello, is Oscar available, please?
Oh, it's y'all again. Yeah, he points toward... He seems to be busy with something. As he's shuffling through a few different papers relatively quickly, he points back toward the hallway. Third door on the right. Just knock.
Thank you much. Will do. Hope your day goes well.
Yep.
And we'll walk then, head that way.
Thicket, with your insight, you can feel it's a little oddly busy. Like people are moving around a bunch. There's an energy of stress, maybe? Something in the room as you walk through and pass by different guards and Dawn. You pass by 2 Dawn guard that you see and pass by like 6 different regular guards. Differentiated by their different armor, as the Dawn guard have the fancy brass armor that you've seen. As you go up to it, you see a door, wooden door, fairly simple, with a sign next to it that just says Magistrate.
Rap loudly on the door, but not like obnoxious.
Come in. I think that's his voice.
And walk in.
As you step in, you see kind of hunched over a desk. The room is filled with random stuff. You see boxes here and there. You see a crate off to one side. There are several shelves. You see on the shelves different stacks of paper. There are several drawers off to the side. And on the very cluttered desk, sitting behind it, hunched over, is Oscar, his right hand holding a few different pieces of paper. His left arm down to the side. You can't really see as he's looking through some different papers. He looks up. Oh, hello. It's you all again. What can I do for you? As he stands up. As y'all would immediately be able to see, as he stands up, his left arm is wrapped in bandages.
Uh-oh.
Come in, close the door.
What's happened to you?
Come in, close the door.
Yeah, Grunt shuts it.
You wouldn't happen to know anything that happened a day and a half ago?
No. Grunt's honestly confused.
Yesterday morning, my house was attacked. Early in the morning. 3 a.m., 4. Fire. Not much else. An explosion rocked the bottom floor. I was thankfully able to, as he looks around, get our friends out quietly. Not without some pain, as he puts his hand on his bandaged arm. But they're safely somewhere else now. Seems y'all were right that
All right, well,
someone has it out for them.
then I'm not sure what else they might know, or that they may not be aware of that they know, but regardless, things seem to be moving up in a certain way. So, what is your opinion of Selzander?
Strong leader. Personally, technically he does it for everyone. He personally inducts every member of the Dawn Guard. Stern, but fair. Seems to be a good leader. Don't interact with him that much on a regular basis. Haven't met with him personally ever. Why? You think he's the person behind this?
I'm going to try to deflect the conversation, so I don't know what kind of role you want to count this as, but I'm kind of trying to make it seem like maybe it's not as important as what I'm about to ask, so I don't know if this is like a persuasion or a deception or how you would look at it, but
Does it seem like he was
effectively I'm about to change tracks.
Okay.
Does it seem like he was being genuine, saying like all of the positive stuff about Selzander?
Insight check, and Garon to make a persuasion check, since you're trying to persuade him to pay attention to a different thing in this case. Persuasion or deception, whichever is higher for you.
Yikes.
I don't know. I mean, he said the words. You haven't had him lie to you before. But something feels weird. Garant, he gives you a look as you change tracks to a different question.
Does he seem mad at us?
Yeah, you can't tell.
So I say, so what about the shade tree?
Rebel group. They always exist. We kept an eye on them. Haven't found them to be dangerous. You know, they meet occasionally, but haven't had any worries about them so far. I mean, every leader has their detractors.
All right, I kind of look. Oh, go ahead.
I imagine there's always someone wanting to replace someone. I don't view it as necessarily a bad thing. It simply is what it is.
I kind of look at Thicket to see if I can get him to kind of follow along with what I'm saying. So I don't know how you want to do that, but
I stepped away for a sec. What's going on now?
Garand asked how he
I'm
felt
kind
about
of
the
looking
shade
at you.
tree, and Oscar said the shade tree, as far as he can tell, is a pretty peaceful, and effectively opposite political party. He doesn't see them as dangerous or anything. He knows that every leader has their detractors, has people that disagree with them. And then Garand is giving you a look as if to say, go along with me, I think is what he's trying to get across.
Right, yeah, just kind of like follow me for a second on what I'm doing, because I don't know, we'll see how this comes out. You know, things kind of get weird sometimes when you're trying to find out, we're trying to get information from him without giving him too much, so that's kind of makes it harder.
Does he seem like he was being truthful about not having negative feelings towards the shade tree?
Make another insight check with disadvantage. He grimaces in pain, but he does seem to be telling the truth. It seems like his arm is hurting him and bothering him, but he isn't giving any indication that he's been lying. He seems to be telling the truth about what he thinks about the shade tree, that he doesn't see them as any kind of threat, any kind of issue. Yeah, nothing like that.
Right, continue.
So we found.
What did you find, Garand?
We found someone who is skilled with the weapon responsible for the death of 2 people. Is recently deceased, the other one is less recent. And we were accosted by this person. At that, I'm kind of looking at Thicket to see if Thicket gets a read on this guy when I say that.
You were talking
if he
about?
has a response at all.
You're talking about the assassin you meant? You're referring to? And Thicket,
Yes,
make
we
a
were
regular
able
insight
to.
check. You're able to. He seems to be genuinely curious.
Thicket was also
We were
genuinely
able to come to a
curious.
resolution of sorts.
A peaceful one, or So.
Unfortunately, less so. They had decided that we were much too problematic to remain, and that was their error.
What'd you do with the body?
It's being handled, and I actually don't know how. It has been compartmentalized so that anyone that may not be as trustworthy
Does this include
might not
me?
harm those who have otherwise been so.
Make a persuasion
That's honestly all I'm
check.
trying to find out.
Make a persuasion check, because he's gonna see if he realizes that you're kind of talking about him.
I'm gonna using the hero point.
Alright.
Is Garon telling the truth? Maury does not remember this.
Which part? That y'all don't know who buried or hid the bodies or buried the bodies?
This whole story that he's...
I think so far
Telling.
he's been telling the truth. Unless someone wants to correct me and him, I think it's been the truth so far. Total of 17. He doesn't seem to catch that you're talking about, that you seem to be talking about him. I see, that's a smart move. Honestly, for the same reason I'm not going to tell you where the brother and sister are, just in case that had something to do with
And
when I was attacked.
honestly, I don't want to know.
Good. Is it just in case y'all
I
visit
don't
the
wanna
house
know.
or anything?
No,
That's why I was attacked. I'd prefer not to repeat this experience.
No, I agree. In fact, this is part of what I need to know. I believe you genuinely care about others, and I only believe it more now that I know that you are willing to defend them to help them once again. So I am going to take a risk on you, and if I don't like the response, one of us is not leaving here alive. So
That's a pretty hefty
we
way
have
to
found
start. All right.
I'm putting all the cards on the table, sir.
I
And
appreciate it.
I believe you to be right and good, and if I am wrong, I'm just saying, if I am wrong, one of us will not leave here alive. Now,
Okay.
the assassin, we are completely convinced, has been sent indeed by Selzander, and Selzander is trying to take a coup against the Queen, and longs to use the city and its citizens as tools in his war to claim what he believes is his rightful throne. And I ready immediately. I'm readying a I'm going to ready a guiding bolt if he in any way attacks me or Thicket.
So, are you expending the spell slot to ready a guiding bolt? Or just be prepared for combat? Because there's a difference.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
All right.
No, I mean, like, it's a reaction. So however you want to do it. If I have to expend the spell slot, that's fine. But
yeah, if you
I
in
am
order
ready
to hold
to immediately
spells.
cast that if he is attacking. Sure, it's totally fine.
Technically, yeah. If you hold a spell like that, you have to be willing to let it go if you don't use it. As you say this, he will
Sure.
rub his temple and sit down. Oh God.
Does he seem surprised by this news as if he's never heard it before?
Make an insight check. It's odd. The feeling you get the most, there's a slight shock for a few moments, and then you get a feeling of almost like he's disappointed. He sits down. You know, the worst part of this is that I believe you. I've kept an eye on my...
Garon chuckles. Oh, sorry. I just want to say, Garand chuckles when he says that. And he's like, "That's not the worst part for me, but I'm sorry to have to bring it to you."
That's fair. I mean, I've been around a while. I've served as magistrate 7 years, on the Dawn Guard 9. That explains the weapons cache. And the Alchemist Fire. Yeah, that explains a lot of things. I admit I had my suspicions. I didn't know exactly what was up, but I knew something was being planned. I'm not sure who all's in on it. But in the times that I've been to the Citadel, I've seen a lot of our managing stockpiling of materials, weapons.
Do you know if the other magistrates are of any comparably good character as you are?
They're all mostly good. Really, the key is less whether they're good and how devoted they are to Zelzando, regardless of his choices. As I am against a war, personally, I assume you're talking about Cien as the other victim.
That's the one that Bale was told us about, right?
Yep.
Okay. Sometimes I get some of the names mixed up, so I don't want to make a mistake just because of my error.
Okay.
Yes, that is who our contact explained to us.
I see. Well, I'd been suspicious, and I'd voiced my suspicions with Rosanna. She told me to continue on as I have and do the best I can. She told me not to forget about it, which I don't... At the time, I didn't understand. The person who ordered the ceasing of that investigation was Liang. I'd like to think Rosanna's not a part of this. I don't know if that's in your worries. Don't know if that's in your concerns. I don't think she's one of good character. I don't think she'd be willing to be a part of this. Or at least she wouldn't let it happen if it came to it. As for the other Dawn Guard, magistrates directly under her tend to be honestly some of the best character I've ever seen. The 4 that serve her directly are... I'm sorry, that's not right. Let me get my numbers right. The two magistrates and their 5 Dawn Guard are some of the most devoted to the people and not to Zelzander. To the point of getting involved with some other magistrates in individual issues with the Citadel and protective expenditures. The Night Quarter.
Does he seem like he's being genuine about Rosanna?
Make an insight check. Probably gonna do good, but let's just make an insight.
Jeez.
It's hard to tell. You're still getting a lot of feeling of disappointment and oddly almost grief from him. But it's really hard to tell. Seems to be a pretty hard to read person. That or he's just feeling a lot of one-note emotions at the moment.
He better think it's off his game.
Yeah, I think it's real off his game tonight. The least, or at least the most devoted to Zelzander are definitely...
If you're willing to do it... Sorry.
Continue.
Sorry, I was just going to say, if you're willing to do it, Cedar did come with us, if I remember correctly.
Cedar did. Would you like Cedar to roll insight?
Yeah, if you can give just even 1 or 2 rolls to just get, maybe by chance gives us something a little bit more than we have already from Thicket.
Cedar would give you a nod when he talks about Rosanna, that he seems to be genuine.
I want him to be able to speak because he's going through something right now, but I already have something, so...
Yeah, you can interrupt him if you want. He's just,
he
seems to almost mentally...
Okay,
sorry.
alright, okay.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Continue.
No, you're good. You're good. So...
Yep.
Alright, well, if you are willing to... If you're willing to bet your life on Rosanna's nobility and character... And you believe that you could convince her to come and meet with you and us. Alright.
Sorry, continue. Because he would stay silent.
That's fine. If you're willing to do that and have her meet with you and us, and effectively we offer her the same alternative that I just offered you, that either we like what she says, or, because I don't... At a certain point, when you share enough information, you are putting yourself in danger, regardless, so you might as well make your intentions clear in that case.
He seems to stay still for a moment, meditate. Or he sits up in his chair, stares you directly in the eye. I bet my life on it. He's never steered me wrong.
Then if you're willing to see if she'll come visit right now and speak, because we have another plan in the works, and I would hate for something to go awry. So...
time and place.
Time is of the essence.
Try to meet her right here, or somewhere more secluded.
Now if possible.
Alright,
No, I mean, for all it could look like to the outside eye... No, to the outside eye, all it could look like is that we have something and you believe it's worth talking to her about, that it's worth bringing to her attention. For all anyone might else know, we've got some information that could save the day, sort of thing.
I see. Alright. Stay here. I'll be back. Given the distance, I'll be back in an hour, hopefully. Hopefully not any longer than that. I should be able to interrupt whatever meeting she may be a part of. If you need anything, let one of the guards know. They can show you to the kitchen. And he will get up, his arm. With that, make one more insight check. Thicket.
Same. Also, does it look like I could cast a heal spell on him to heal him?
You could definitely try if you wanted to. So Thicket, you can tell he winces. His arm definitely hurts. You can also tell, with your expertise in medicine and healing, he has not gone out of his way to heal this.
I can cast Cure Wounds on him.
For 12. That's what I was doing. I healed for 12.
Garand reaches over and touches his arm. You see the glow in the arm.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope to save resources for someone else. There's always... You never know what's going to happen, and I prefer to save healing for others. But I appreciate it. Please
Do you
don't
need
expend...
any more healing?
Don't expend any more on me. It was just... covering up some scars. It should be alright. He does seem in less pain. Whatever amount he was missing, he was letting it heal naturally, which seems odd to you, because even in general, most more powerful creatures tend to be able to heal rather quickly. Like, even you among your party can use your aura to heal at a dramatic rate. You're not sure why he chose to specifically not heal this immediately, but now it seems to be healed over, and Effectively, his aura is doing the rest of the work of regenerating over that pain. So he is... Effectively, you healed the missing maximum hit points he's had.
Huzzah.
Because of things he chose to do and not to do. And he will go. During this time, as he goes to try and persuade Rosanna, the rest of you. What you doing?
Gambit's pickpocketing.
Pickpocketing, just any passerby?
Yeah, any passerby.
I need you to roll me a D100.
Oh.
And then also a thief. Sleight of hand check. Doug!
Sleight of hand.
How's Doug doing?
Doug's just gonna follow suit.
Oh, are you serious?
Interesting. So, roll the D100.
Oh.
Am I doing the same?
I definitely know how to do that.
It's the number with 00 on the far right of the dice.
Oh.
And what was that, Doug?
Am I doing the same?
Are you trying to steal from people?
Maybe assist Gambit.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check, Doug. And then roll me a D100. Okay. Roll me a D100. So, Gambit, you end up pickpocketing a fairly normal-looking person. Looks like they're probably someone who works in the market, selling some such things, and you manage to pull off of them a coin purse, inside of which is 15 gold pieces.
Alright, I'm donating 15 gold pieces.
Nice. Doug, you eye someone who is a little more well-to-do. You see a man who is in a fairly fancy suit. He's not the richest looking guy, but he looks pretty well off. Maybe he owns a business, something like that. He's at least on the nicer side. And as you manage to step past him, I need you to roll a d20. You get above above a 10, you're getting non-monetary valuable. If you're getting under 10, you're getting monetary valuable.
Ooh. Do I want to use a hero point?
This is not something you can hero point. This is just to find out what happens.
You said a 20?
Yep, roll a d20. Cool, non-monetary. You managed to take off of him what you check down to see is actually an incredibly fancy watch that, as you look, does appear to be made of silver with what appears to be gemstones. You can't tell what kind. Some kind of light translucent gemstone embedded into the side. It's ticking quite well. It's fancy. You're not sure how much this could reach, but easily somewhere between 70 or 100 gold.
I love it when two characters do one thing and one's supposed to be good at that one and the other one's
doesn't.
not. And they do better.
He did. He managed to effectively outperform you by 85 gold.
Yeah, completely. He's like, Gambit's like, let me show you how it's done. And he immediately does so much better. It's
Bale
so
looks
funny.
over. I would like if after this we could find those people and repay them with...
We're just crowdsourcing, I'm sure they don't want a war, so it's for their benefit. They just don't know it.
Gambit just became my favorite.
Yeah, he gives you a stink eye.
Listen, if you
Continues
don't
on.
like it, just keep your head down.
He's not going to say anything else. that brings your total to, assuming you can barter, and for this purpose, I will say the guy will accept the jewelry that he can sell instead. That brings you up to 115 plus his 50. You're up to 165 gold. You need 35 more to buy the barrel or the keg. Are y'all going to continue to spend another hour of time trying to pickpocket people?
Sure.
That we all want to do?
Gambit's now like, yeah, Gambit's now, he's like, I can't be outperformed.
Doug?
Doug is just going to watch Gambit.
All right, Gambit, make another sleight of hand check.
Oh, please be better than a 2. Yes.
Okay. You do get the coin purse. You don't get the, which is probably, I mean, there's a mixture. On one hand, valuables tend to be worth more than people holding their coin purses. On the other hand, coin purses are easier to use right away.
Right.
With what you rolled, you look around with a little bit of malice, actually spot a high elven woman in fairly fancy outfit. It's fairly regal, very silken aesthetic. You actually managed to walk up and carefully let me see, what do you have in your inventory? Do. You managed to flick a ball bearing right underneath her foot, and so she actually slips and falls down, gasping as she does so, and you step up and help her up, and she thanks you several times before finally moving on. And you just hold up your hand as she walks away. With a coin purse. With... Huh. How convenient. Exactly 65 gold pieces in it.
Nice.
You have managed to steal a significant portion of what you need. And between your thieved items and Bale's cash, the rest of his savings, basically, y'all managed to procure, and who should I throw this into the inventory of?
Maverick. The keg.
Yeah, let me...
Maverick.
Okay, there's no item already in existence in the thing for it, so Maverick now has a powder keg bought with stolen goods.
So what was the ball bearing that the person tripped over?
A ball bearing is effectively a small, typically metal or plastic sphere, usually made of very cheap metal or rocks. And Gambit actually has some of them. They're typically used as a low-tech trap where you throw them over a floor and people will trip on them. And so Gambit just very dexterously threw one into the right spot at the right time.
Wait, well, after the person tripped, can I use my telekinesis to, like, retract it, and I'll just hand it to Gambit afterwards, and be like, you might want this back.
You can.
Oh, thanks.
And both of you roll stealth checks, just to see how stealthy y'all can be while y'all did all this thievery.
Can I use a hero point for that?
You may.
Oh, are you serious?
Once again, beating Gambit at his own game. As Gambit actually stood out in the open and was holding the bag, Doug pulls him off to the side, hiding the bag, as a guard walks by, none the wiser.
Gambit, You might as well have done this in like broad daylight.
Yeah, listen, I'm having a bad day, I guess.
Okay, as it hits about 2 p.m., you'll wait about an hour and a half. Time passes. You find yourself continually waiting in the room. You hear the crack of thunder in the distance. There is a window in the back of the room, but it's currently closed, like the wooden... Because most of these shutters are not glass windows, but they have just wooden shutters that can be barred on the inside, so you can just slide the windows open or closed. You hear thunder crack in the distance, but don't see it. As time goes, which side of the desk are you sitting on? The one facing away from the door or toward the door?
Gron would be close to the window, so if we needed to, we could try to escape through it.
Okay, so he would have walked over to the other side of the desk.
Plus, he wants to be near the storm anyway.
Okay. Where's Thicket hanging out? In Cedar.
Thicket's on mute. Maybe Cedar's in the corner drinking some milk.
Okay.
I'm just standing by Garon.
A while passes. The hour and a half as y'all wait over there. You hear steps. One set of footsteps, pretty heavy compared to the other. As you hear this, you hear the doorknob shift. Thicket would hear it first with his dexterous cat ears, high passive perception. Opening the door, Oscar would step in, leading behind him. Sorry it took so long. I introduce General Rosanna. He steps into the room. You see a fairly tall for a woman, standing at 5'11", seemingly a bit inch higher due to her boots, in a mixture of red and gold armor, effectively a breastplate, with this fairly fancy, or at least nice quality, red coat underneath her armor. Layers of different clothing beneath that as well. Honestly, a little bit warm for the climate, but you do you. In her left hand, too big for any kind of sheath, so it seems she's just carrying it, is this very large great axe that you can actually see. The front end, though it's spiked in the picture, actually caps off in a flat ending. That at this point, due to the height, you'd actually see that it looks like almost like there's a hole in the top of the axe. And you know, Jack, how you said like half of Fire Emblem characters have red hair, and you didn't think this was one with the red hair? You see braided into a long braid that goes far past her waist. You see, with a fairly intense, but somewhat almost kind, or at least soft face, despite the intense glare coming from it, you see Rosanna.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's a very, very low grung.
Welcome to Grunge, Grandma.
I love Grunge Grandma. That's what I aspire to be when I'm old.
As she steps in, she looks at you. You must be the messengers. We've got a lot to talk about. And I believe that's where we're going to end the session for tonight.
Dun, 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 dun.
To be continued.
Nice.
Oof.
Let's get that session. Let's level up. We're 6 already.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Yay!
I I will. Let me pull up the session. New character on the banner. And you know her name, Rosanna, General of the Dawn Guard. I will go ahead and identify her. Y'all definitely know her name. I absolutely adore her art. I'm so happy with it. It fits perfectly. It looks great. Her axe is fun. Because in case you didn't notice, it's more than just a regular axe. Let's see. Session XP. Session XP. Not CP. XP. For 37. 37 times 10 is how much?
370.
And then times that again by 10. Because I, for some reason, said 10 instead of 100.
700.
Yep, because it's supposed to be times 1,000, not times 7. I messed up. That's my own brain. Each of you gets 617 XP, bringing you... The furthest up is currently a tie between Thicket, Cedar, and Doug with 10,925 XP. Bringing you about 3,000 XP individually from the 1,400 for level 6. Whew. I really like Rosanna's art. And I like Rosanna as a character. There's a lot to her. She's fun.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
She's neat. I believe her Fire Emblem character's name is Titania, which is fun, because that's actually also the name of a Archfey in D&D. This isn't the Forgotten Realms, so Titania doesn't actually exist in this version. But I think it's fun that I get to pull in a character that has a similar name to... wait, is she... Yeah, she's Titania. But I think one of her other names isn't it Tiamat?
Shakespeare.
Yeah, Titania was from A Midsummer Night's Dream, right?
Yep.
Yep.
The Queen of Fae.
Which, you know, I guess technically I could have Titania exist in this world, but I'm gonna be straight with y'all. Y'all are not going to be going to the Feywild during this campaign. It's not going to happen. Closest you got is...
really hard.
I'm gonna be real. A special thing about Remnant is it is abnormally difficult to go through dimensions in Remnant. It is unbelievably difficult to even go to the elemental planes. You would have an easier time with the Shadowfell and Feywild than you would with literally any of the Outer Planes or the Astral Sea. But that doesn't make it easy. The world itself is actively working to contain people inside of it because of reasons. Well, now that I've said this, y'all are going to try to find a way, so maybe I should just give in? Who knows? We'll see. But I like her hair. It's great. I love red hair, and it's big, and it's flowy, and her axe is beautiful, and I want that axe so bad. Who knows? Maybe y'all are going to try to kill her. Maybe you won't try to kill her.
Maybe she'll try to kill us.
Maybe she will try to kill you.
Oscar said she's good, so I believe him.
Oscar did say
I
she's good.
love Oscar.
And y'all
Oscar's
were going to
very
kill her
good.
without a conversation.
We were. I'm so glad.
I'm so glad you went to Oscar first. Because if y'all didn't go to Oscar first, A, you never would have found out that someone attacked him Friday morning. You also, which, you know, cough cough, may have been the person that was following y'all the day before when y'all went to his house, cough cough. Because y'all failed that stealth roll.
We did.
You did. And now she's here, which is also great. Because I love her. She's wonderful. Wow. This was good. This was good.
One less person that we have to fight.
Yeah. I also feel a little bit bad, because I don't know if that means y'all are going to keep following the plan you had or not.
Probably not. But that's okay.
I mean,
We can make another one.
No, we can ask Oscar to make all our plans.
Ask
And
Oscar.
Rosanna.
Hey, Rosanna, you're a decorated military general. A decorated military general who served for 14 years and another, 8 years before that as an adventurer. So, what's your military expertise? So I think she's How old did I make you? She's not that young. Like, she's not old, obviously, but... How old was it? It's been serving for 4 years. She literally is, though. Because as y'all... I mean, y'all haven't found out yet, but you'll find out some stuff, probably, assuming this conversation goes the way I think it's going to. Y'all are going to get a lot of information, actually, next.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a very quick succession of likely several sessions of lots of combat and a coup.
Yay!
Let's go!
I love a good coup.
Overthrow the government.
Yeah.
Though, unfortunately for y'all, you can't steal her axe, which I do think Doug would enjoy her axe.
Doug has thought about
We gotta
Kill her, get the axe.
because like the axe can't weigh more than 15 pounds, right?
I believe we've already specified that you can't use your magnetism to use a weapon like that.
Well, I'm not going to use it. Like let's just say if someone was the command person, to say drop, and then I like once
Alright.
drop.
How much does a great axe weigh? Huh, apparently not that much. Only 4 pounds, apparently.
Well, there you go, command person.
Or 7 pounds, depending on which thing you ask. So for her, it would probably be, because of the stuff in it, would make it 12 pounds or so. It's actually a pretty heavy weapon. Because most weapons, IRL, don't actually go past the 8-pound mark, because it becomes difficult to swing repeatedly after that. Most weapons try to stay under 4 pounds in real life. Like, the biggest weapons in real life, I believe, is it's either a particular kind of great axe that actually did exist, but isn't used anymore because it's heavy, or the Zweihander, which I believe the heaviest Zweihander that was actually used in historical battles, I think was 28 pounds, which is kind of huge, actually. It was used by a Scot, because they were the ones that typically used Zweihanders, but I don't remember which one it was. But it makes what you think a greatsword is look like a short sword. Like, it was huge. I'll go ahead and end the recording, and then we can talk about anything else you want to talk about. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely night. Goodbye, YouTube.